Hi, Farah. Thanks so much for sharing your video. I really found it helpful, and three big points that I took away from your video was the emphasis on fostering autonomy, which we know is essential according to the ethical documents that we have looked at, and ultimately the goal of counseling as a whole to foster the autonomy of the client, the need for written and verbal communication, and I'll get to that in just a second, as well as how you ended with Hebrews 6:10 and the focus on the word help, because we are in a helping relationship with the client. Just as we have been helped from the Lord and those around us, we are extending that help. Now, I really like the point that you made on written and verbal communication, and I found a study as well. And the study is actually out of Australia, which I think points to that this is not just a national issue when it comes to informed consent and the understanding of informed consent, but it is a global issue as well. And this was in an article called Confidentiality and Informed Consent in Counseling and Psychotherapy, a systematic review by the authors Andrea Lamont Mills, Stephen Christensen, and Lauren Moses, and this appeared in the Psychotherapy and Counseling Federation of Australia's publication. And so they had several things to say in this study. First of all, their purpose was to fill a need in the gap of empirical research when it comes to the misunderstandings in the counseling relationships centered around informed consent. And what they found in that empirical study is there needs to be explicit understanding. Like, we can't implicitly guess that they're understanding and check a box because we have given them the informed consent, but they need that explicit understanding as the main focus. And ultimately, the lack of explicit explaining leads to contention because of a lack of understanding of the boundaries of the counseling relationship. And so they also found the need for multicultural competence and multicultural awareness, because often what we believe may be explicitly explained does not always translate multiculturally across the board. So the more we grow multiculturally, the more deeper our informed consents will be, and ultimately it'll enhance the relationship, because it gives them a common endpoint. And kind of the final point that they made in this article that really stood out to me was that from the very beginning with informed consent, you are establishing an ethical foundation, which we know, according to our code of ethics, is what we all strive to be, an ethical foundation that will continue throughout the counseling relationship. Thank you.